Many people have recently noticed that some banks are limiting or phasing out parts of their Zelle services, and it has raised a lot of questions. Today, we will look at why this is happening, what it means for everyday users, and which alternatives you should consider if you want faster, safer, and more reliable digital payments. To understand the current situation, we need to start with how Zelle works. Zelle is a peer-to-peer payment network used by hundreds of banks across the United States. It transfers money directly between bank accounts, usually within minutes, which is why it became so popular. The problem is that this speed also makes fraud easier. Once a payment goes through, reversing it is almost impossible. Over the last 2 years, banks have faced rising reports of scams linked to Zelle. Even if Zelle itself was not the direct cause, banks still deal with the customer complaints, disputes, and potential legal pressure. Another major issue is regulatory scrutiny. Lawmakers and consumer protection groups have been pushing banks to take more responsibility for fraud losses on Zelle. This means banks may be forced to refund customers who were scammed, even in cases where the customer authorized the payment. For many institutions, that creates financial risk, operational work, and legal exposure. Some banks have decided that instead of waiting for new rules, it may be safer to limit Zelle access, pause new enrollments, or reduce the types of transfers allowed. There is also the matter of technology upgrades. Some banks use older systems that do not easily integrate with Zelle's newer security protocols. Those upgrades can be expensive, so smaller banks sometimes choose to step away from Zelle rather than invest in the technology required to keep up. At the same time, competition has grown. Services like PayPal, Cash App, and Venmo offer fraud protections that users find reassuring. This has pushed customers to expect the same level of safety from Zelle. Banks that feel unprepared to guarantee this level of protection may decide to scale back their involvement. This shift does not mean Zelle is going away. Major banks such as Wells Fargo, Chase, and Bank of America still support it fully. However, users need to stay aware of how their own bank handles Zelle transfers. Rules can vary from bank to bank, including transfer limits, fraud protections, and dispute resolution. If your bank is restricting Zelle or you simply want a more secure option, there are solid alternatives. Many users prefer banking platforms that offer built-in fraud protection, purchase protection, and strong customer support. Digital banks and fintech platforms like Chime, SoFi, and even traditional institutions with modern apps often provide safer payment experiences. Some of these services also offer cashback rewards, debit card protections, and easier ways to manage spending, which can be appealing if you are planning to switch banks soon. Ultimately, the decision by some banks to pull back from Zelle is based on a combination of fraud concerns, regulatory pressure, technology limitations, and shifting customer expectations. As a consumer, the best thing you can do is stay informed, review your bank's policies, and choose a financial platform that prioritizes both convenience and security. If you are considering moving to a new bank or payment service, compare features like fraud guarantees, transfer speed, account fees, and customer support. Making the right choice now can save you a lot of frustration later.